My wedding was back on Saturday, December 31st, and I'm still getting backlash from this, so I want to know if this was an asshole move. In the country I live in, it's currently winter, and we get a fair amount of snow, so my wedding was a winter-themed wedding. The color theme was forest green and gold. My dress was obviously white, and I chose the color of my bridesmaids' dresses to be forest green as well. My MOH's dress was black, and everyone was to wear gold accessories. I have this friend, we'll call her Kat, that I asked to be one of my bridesmaids. When we went dress shopping and I told them the color theme I was going for, Kat immediately expressed that she thought forest green was a bad choice. She said that thinks it's not a flattering color, and thought I should choose something different and more girly. I said no because my wedding was winter themed and I thought the color would go perfect with the theme. She suggested a pink, blue, even a red. I said no, but thanks for your opinion. She found out my MOH's dress was black and asked if she could wear black too. I said no, only my MOH is wearing black. I paid for all the dresses. Fast forward to wedding day, everyone's getting their hair and makeup done and Kat shows up 30 minutes late holding a bag that looked like it had a dress inside. I asked her what this was for. She told me it was for later on at the reception if she got uncomfortable and wanted to change after pictures. I was like, okay, cool. So fast forward, we're all dressed and walking down the stairs because the ceremony is beginning in 30 minutes and we were going to take some pictures before. Kat is the last person to come down and she's wearing a black dress. At the time I was preoccupied taking pictures with my parents, but my MOH came over to me and made me aware of the situation. I confronted Kat and asked her what was going on. She said she hates her bridesmaid dress, as the color is ugly and makes her look gross, so she's wearing black. I told her please go back and change. She refused and started walking away from me. I said I'm going to ask her one more time, and if she doesn't oblige I'm calling security and kicking her out. She began yelling at me to fuck off, so I called security and asked them to please escort her out. She started making a big scene yelling how I'm such a bitch, that I can't force her to wear anything and that I'm a horrible inconsiderate friend. The wedding went on and it was truly amazing. Ever since the wedding, Kat has been blowing up my phone with texts saying some really nasty things and asking for the money back she spent on the black dress, since it was a waste and she didn't get to wear it. I had to block her number. Some of my other bridesmaids have been giving me shit saying that it was a little harsh kicking her out and embarrassing her like that, and that maybe I should give her the money back. Am I the asshole for kicking her out? 2 days ago I saw a small cake at Walmart. It was only $6 and a flavor my family liked, so I decided to buy it. I got home and my wife protested, saying, "You don't buy a cake unless it's for a birthday." She demanded I return it for a refund, however the seal was already torn off so the store would not be able to resell it. An argument struck up and out of spite, let my children and myself eat the cake by ourselves, not leaving a crumb for my wife. She has not talked to me since, and refuses to even sleep in the same bed over a cake. So, am I the asshole? I'm a 40-year-old man and my girlfriend of a year is 38. She has a daughter from a previous partner who is 14 and a freshman in high school. I went over there yesterday to find my girlfriend crying. I tried to figure out what was going on and where I can help when she told me she was crying about her daughter and how she is doing in school. I love her daughter. She is the sweetest girl ever. I wish my daughters were as well behaved as her. I have to describe her daughter. She has a nice friend group, does not have trouble with bullies, and generally seems very happy. I bet you're wondering why her mother would be crying if this was the case. Her mother/my girlfriend was crying because her daughter is not the popular athlete cheerleader homecoming queen that she was in school. Her daughter marches to the beat of her own drum, which I think is the best anyone can hope for. Yes, she's a little bit dorky, but her own mother referred to her as a loser during this crying fit. She's very into anime. Her and some friends actually started an anime club at their school. Pokemon and video games. Most of her wardrobe is black t-shirts with anime or video game characters on them. Again, she's a happy kid. She's got her social circle who all have similar interests. It's just not the circle her mom wishes she was in. Here are some quotes from her during this that turned me red. I never would have imagined my daughter would be a dweeb. She needs to grow out of this before college. And my personal favorite, I wouldn't have been caught dead with kids that look like that. I called her disgusting and told her she should be ashamed of herself. I said her daughter is happy, and how would she feel to hear her mom crying about her perceived popularity. I told her how lucky she has it that her daughter doesn't deal with a lot of the issues kids that days have. This ends with her being upset with me because instead of consoling her when she was crying, I called her names. I don't think the crying means anything. She was saying horrible things. I have always been in second place to my disabled younger brother, Evan. Ever since he was a teenager, he's been suffering from severe mental health issues, and my needs were always swept aside so that my parents could take care of Evan. After Evan graduated from high school, he immediately fell into heavy drug use, and before long, he amassed a hefty rap sheet, including a weapons charge. After a few years of his nonsense, my little brother finally got his act together, and decided to enroll in community college. He eventually transferred to a 4-year college for a degree in physics. He seems to have turned his life around. Currently in his 3rd year of undergrad, he's already published 2 papers and taken part in a few important academic conferences. He aspires to do his PhD in computational physics, has been clean for years now, goes to therapy for his mental health issues, and is staying out of trouble with the law. He has many good friends and role models now, and whenever I meet him, Evan is always very polite and thoughtful. A complete 180 from when he was a deadbeat. I am so proud of him. But even so, I cannot let go of my lifelong resentment of him, and sometimes, when he would talk about what he wants for his future, the only response I have for him is, "Don't fuck this up." This past Christmas, my family got together for dinner, and Evan brought along his girlfriend, who he plans on proposing to. During the night, my parents still kept on heaping all the attention onto my brother, and how they're so proud of him and all that, and it reminded me of my childhood. At one point during the night, I snidely joked to Evan's girlfriend that his best trait as a parent would be pretending not to be shit-faced drunk all the time. Evan took great offense to this, and in fact he started crying and telling me that there was no point in me saying that. I ruined the night. A few days afterwards, I had tried messaging my little bro, apologizing for what I had said to him and that I don't expect forgiveness from him. He's gone no contact with me. Am I the problem here? About 2 years ago, my sister-in-law 27 became extremely ill. Passed within a few months of her diagnosis. Prior to her passing, I flew out to go help her my brother 29 with their daughters now 6-8 so they didn't have to worry about the kiddos. During that time they became attached to me. Her passing was difficult for all of us, especially knowing how wonderful of a mother she was to the girls. It's been 2 years and it's still hard for my brother to process it. My brother said he didn't want to tell his daughters. I could tell seeing them broke him because they would often ask how their mom was doing. So I suggested having the girls move in with me, my fiancé, until he was in a better place. We suggested going to therapy, but he wasn't open to it at all. When my nieces moved in, the whole family stepped up, my parents, siblings, even fiancé's side, to make sure the girls were good. For the last 2 years he has been isolating himself, moved away, an hour drive from us, doesn't go to therapy, burying himself in work. He visits the girls once every 2 months or so, spoils them with gifts, but other than that he doesn't support financially. We're in a good financial position so it's fine, we haven't asked for it. Thing is, my niece often asks how their mom is and when she'll be out of the hospital. They want to go see her. We feel awful, them not knowing. I mean, it's been 2 whole years. I asked my brother few months ago, he wasn't ready yet. Considering he isn't doing anything to get help that I am now their full-time guardian, I figured the healthiest thing to do was to tell them sooner than later. Before telling them, we got their teachers involved, got them therapists, told them. It was probably the hardest thing I had to do in a long time. They are also doing a program for grieving children. This has been very helpful because they have friends who they can relate to, a lot of support. It's been a month. My nieces are handling it way better than we thought, but my brother isn't. He thought it wasn't our place to tell them that I ruined their happiness, and now that they knew their mom was dead they'd never be the same. His friends say we are major asshole for doing it without his permission. So I just got married and I've been planning this wedding for almost 2 years. I wanted it to be perfect. My brother was best man, my sisters were bridesmaids, and my brother had been with his girlfriend for a while. She still hasn't warmed up to me and frankly seems like she doesn't like me, but I invited her as a guest. After the ceremony, I specifically wanted the bridesmaids, best man, and groomsmen to be seated with my husband and I, at least until the photographers were done catching candid shots. My brother went to pull up a chair for his girlfriend and I asked him not to. We needed to keep the colors matching and numbers even for the photos. His girlfriend looked offended, so I told her it'd only take a few minutes and then she could join us, but right now she just needed to stay out of the shots. My brother talked to her a little before she walked to the back tables, which she didn't have to do. She could have sat closer. My brother looked irritated, which made me slightly irritated because I didn't want him looking unhappy in the pictures. So I said he could at least pretend to look happy. I don't know why that sent him, but it did. He went off about her being shy and already feeling unwelcome in the family, and I'm not making it easy for her. I told him it didn't seem like she was happy to be here anyway. She doesn't seem like she wants to be part of this family at all, and frankly I didn't want her unhappy expression to be permanently displayed in pictures of what's supposed to be a happy occasion. Then he storms off and sits with her. I was pissed. This was supposed to be my day. It wasn't about her. Made the seating at the table uneven in the pictures anyway, but they still turned out okay. My brother isn't talking to me, even though I apologized and offered to apologize to his girlfriend. Some things I said out of anger, but also feel like I should have been granted some respect and they should know how important it was to me since they know I'd been planning this day for so long. The rest of our family and friends at the table just tell me it was awkward and don't want to pick sides. So am I the asshole? A little backstory first. My sister-in-law moved in with my wife, myself and our 3 kids a few months ago due to her being kicked out of her old place. I have a job that pays me well and allows me to spoil my children, but they all know the value of $1. However, every week my wife and I give them $50 to spend on what they want as allowance, and they can earn more by doing chores. My sister-in-law has a job that gives her enough income for her to live comfortably, and she's supposed to be saving some to get a new place while living with us. Well, last week my sister-in-law heard my eldest son talking to his mother and I about what chores he can do to earn $75, and she asked us if we actually gave our children that much money and that it was too much money for children to have, and we told her they were our children, we could give them however much we see fit to give them. I thought she dropped it, but I was wrong. Last night my youngest son came to me and told me that his aunt had demanded he give her $40 from his money so she could go buy something. When he told her no, she apparently started screaming at him that he was an ungrateful brat and tried to grab his wallet and take the money. Immediately I went to my 2 older children and asked them if she had ever asked or told them to give her money, to which my daughter responded that her aunt had asked her a couple weeks beforehand if she could have $50, and my son told me that she had asked, but he always shut her down immediately, telling her he was saving for a car. After hearing this, I went to sister-in-law and told her to get her stuff and get out of my house, and that she was no longer allowed in it if she thinks it is okay to steal money from my kids, yell at my kids, and call them mean names. My wife thinks I went about it the wrong way, but that was overall right, but her family thinks I was an asshole for kicking her out and refusing to allow her in, and said that my children should have just given her the money because family helps family. So am I the asshole for telling my sister-in-law she's no longer allowed at my house when she told my children to give her money? My boyfriend has a daughter, Haley. Haley's mother left when she was around 1, and my boyfriend is pretty uninvolved as a father. When Haley was 6 months old, her mom was dealing with some mental health issues, so my boyfriend hired a nanny, Laura, to do everything baby related. He had Laura move in within a couple months of Haley's mom leaving, and Laura is still working for my boyfriend today. Laura is very close with my boyfriend's family. She's with the family every holiday, and honestly I think they like her better than me. My boyfriend says she's become a good friend over the years, and he and Laura go out at least once a month. And Laura is extremely involved in Haley's life. She's room mom at her school. I didn't know you could be room mom without being a mom. She's at every play, concert, soccer game, etc. She even goes to Haley's therapy appointments. Haley doesn't do anything for herself because of Laura. Laura wakes her up, packs her backpack and lunch and does her hair every morning and does homework with her every afternoon. She tucks Haley in every night and sits with her until she falls asleep. Haley is very attached to Laura and Laura is to Haley. Laura even takes Haley out with her on her days off. Haley has been disinterested in getting closer with me and her dad, and I honestly think it's because of Laura. I was talking to my boyfriend and said that Haley's too attached to Laura and suggested that he be more involved in Haley's life since he's now in a better position to be a father and we can have Laura move out. Haley heard us and is heartbroken and terrified. She's refusing to speak to me or leave Laura's side. She's faked being sick at school so many times this week that they don't want her to come back today. Laura says Haley hasn't been sleeping and is worried about her. My boyfriend is blaming me for all of this, but there's no way I could have known that Haley would be eavesdropping or that she'd get this scared. Am I the asshole here? Recently, my friend and her husband purchased their first home and they had a housewarming party. After they finished, she's decorating it. Rachel, my friend, kept showing off her stuff, boasting about paint colors, etc. Frankly, you could tell she's decorated all of it. It had her basic style written all over it. There was nothing there that would scream Matt, her husband. But I kept my mouth shut. I knew she was a bit controlling in decorating department. We shared a flat for a year in uni. I've had a few drinks and was slightly tipsy. Some others were drunk, including Matt. After yet another comment from Rachel about her beige color shit, I admit I can't stand her taste, and that's the reason we've only lived together for a year. She wouldn't compromise and she got kind of angry with me after her love disappeared one day in mysterious circumstances. Anyway, when she made a comment, I asked Matt what he thought of the decor and if it's everything he wanted. Unexpectedly, Matt blurted out that he hated it. He spent thousands and she wouldn't let him pick a color for anything, not even his office. He works from home. I didn't expect that answer, and I'm sure his honesty was caused by alcohol. I tried to switch the subject, but Rachel got really angry with him and shouted, "What do you mean you hate it?" And she started arguing with him in front of everyone. But he was too drunk, so he just went to bed, ignoring her. It got really awkward and we all left. It seems they've argued since then because Rachel has been telling me that I am the asshole, constantly messaging me because I almost ruined her marriage and I ruined her house because she had to agree to let him decorate his office and he chose green, which she hates. She's telling all our friends what an ass I was. I feel really bad and this was not my intention. Should I apologize? Am I the asshole for causing the argument?